My friends, everyone wants success, but very few are willing to do the hard things that success demands. Why? Because our brain loves comfort. It tells us, do it tomorrow, it's too hard, it's too risky. But if you listen to that voice, you will stay the same forever. Doing hard things starts with a decision. Not a big plan, just a decision. I will start now. Don't wait until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Start small, one step, one call, 1 hour. That's how confidence is built, not from thinking, but from moving. Your brain is like a muscle. If you train it with easy tasks, it becomes lazy. If you train it with difficult tasks, it becomes strong. Discipline is painful in the beginning, but it becomes your power later. And when it gets really hard, and it will, remember why you started. Your why is the fuel, not money, not applause. Purpose. When you have purpose, pain becomes training, not punishment. Don't tell yourself, I can't. Tell yourself, I'll try. Try every day. Fail, learn, try again. Because what is hard today will be your strength tomorrow. My friends, comfort will keep you small. Challenge will make you grow. So train your brain to love challenge. One hard thing a day, and watch how your life transforms. When people see something difficult, their first reaction is to step back. They think, this is too hard. Maybe it's not for me. That is where most people stop. But the truth is, everything valuable in life is hard in the beginning. Learning to walk was hard. Learning to read was hard. Even learning to speak was hard. But because we were children, we didn't stop and think, this is too difficult. We just kept trying. We fell, we cried, we stood up again. And slowly, it became natural. As we grow older, something changes. We begin to believe that if something feels hard, it means we are not good enough. That is wrong. Feeling difficulty is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are doing something new. It is a sign that your brain is growing. Every time you struggle, your brain is trying to build new connections. That discomfort is part of the process. It is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are moving forward. People who succeed are not always smarter. They are simply more comfortable being uncomfortable. They accept that difficulty is part of the journey, not a barrier blocking the way. They wake up knowing some days will be full of problems, full of stress, full of mistakes, and they go anyway. They don't expect the road to be smooth. They expect it to be rough, and they walk on it with determination. Many people waste energy asking, why is this so hard? But that question has no answer. Life is not supposed to be easy all the time. When you see someone who is strong, someone who is confident, someone who has achieved something great, you are seeing a person who walked through many hard days without running away. They learn that difficulty is like rain. You don't have to like it, but you must walk through it. If you want your brain to do hard things, you must first stop thinking of hard as strange. Hard is not strange. Hard is normal. Imagine training in a gym. The first time you lift a heavy weight, it hurts. Your muscles shake. You feel tired, but you do it again and again. After some time, the same weight that once felt impossible becomes light. That is what happens when you accept difficulty instead of avoiding it. Your brain becomes stronger because it is no longer afraid of effort. When people quit early, it is not because the work is impossible. It is because they believe the struggle means something is wrong. But the struggle is what makes you grow. The first day is hard. The second day is hard. The 10th day is still hard, but your mind gets stronger each time you face it. Slowly, the feeling of fear changes into the feeling of focus. The feeling of doubt changes into the feeling of control. This is how strong people are built, not in comfort, but in challenge. Accepting difficulty as normal also means not looking for shortcuts every time something becomes uncomfortable. Shortcuts can save time, but they also steal growth. When you take the long way, when you carry the full weight, you teach your brain that it can survive struggle. That belief stays with you forever. Then, when new challenges come, your mind says, I've done hard things before. I can do this too. That is the mindset that allows you to push further, to learn faster, to keep going when others stop. Most people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment. They wait for the right time, the right skills, the right money, the right team. They think, once I'm ready, then I'll start. But the truth is, you never feel ready. Readiness is a feeling your mind gives you only after you have already begun. If you wait until you feel confident, you will spend your whole life preparing and never moving. Every person who ever built something great started before they felt ready. The first step is never taken with full confidence. It is taken with fear, doubt, and shaky hands. But that first step creates movement. and movement creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. This is how progress begins, not from waiting for motivation, but from choosing action. Your brain wants safety. It wants you to stay where it is warm and predictable. The moment you think about doing something hard or new, your brain tries to protect you. It whispers, "You are not prepared. You might fail. Wait a little longer." If you listen, days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into years. The dream stays in your head, but it never enters your life. That is why starting early, starting unprepared, is so powerful. It breaks the brain's pattern of fear. When you take action before you feel ready, you teach your brain that it is okay to move without certainty. The first attempt might not be perfect, but perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Every small action gives you information, experience, and feedback. That feedback becomes your real preparation. The world will teach you faster than planning will. You can read every book about swimming, but you only learn when you get in the water. People think they need clarity before they begin, but clarity comes from movement. Think of walking through fog. If you stand still, you can only see a few steps ahead. If you walk forward, every step clears more of the path. Starting creates that clarity. You cannot see the whole road from the starting line, and you don't need to. You only need to see the next step. It is easy to hide behind preparation because preparation feels safe. Making plans gives a sense of progress without the risk of failure. But plans are only paper. Action is real. Action teaches you what works and what doesn't. Action turns fear into experience. Most people are not lacking knowledge. They are lacking the courage to begin. And courage grows only after the first move. Starting before you feel ready also breaks the illusion of perfect timing. There is no perfect timing. There are always reasons to wait. There will always be problems, obstacles, and doubts. If you wait for the storm to pass, you will miss the chance to learn how to walk in the rain. Starting early forces you to adapt, to grow, and to learn while moving. This makes you stronger than people who wait for conditions to become easy. Every big achievement begins as a small, messy, awkward beginning. It never looks impressive in the start. It looks uncertain, confusing, and sometimes embarrassing. But those early attempts are where confidence is born. Confidence is not the fuel of action. It is the result of action. The first step gives you the proof your brain needs to believe you can take the second step. Each step after that becomes lighter, not because the path changes, but because you have changed. One of the biggest reasons people give up on their dreams is because the dream looks too big. When you stand in front of a mountain, it feels impossible to climb. You look at the peak and your mind says, "I can't reach that high." That fear stops you before you even begin. But no one climbs a mountain in one giant leap. They do it one small step at a time. Every big goal is only a collection of many small steps, and once you understand this, big things stop feeling impossible. The brain becomes overwhelmed when it sees a goal as one massive task. It starts imagining how long it will take, how many things could go wrong, and how much effort is needed. This creates fear, and fear freezes action. But if you break that big goal into tiny, clear pieces, the brain relaxes. It stops seeing danger and starts seeing progress. A big dream might look impossible, but 10 small tasks look manageable. When your mind believes it can win small, it builds the courage to attempt big. Starting small is not about thinking small. It is about building momentum. When you achieve a small step, your brain releases a sense of reward. That small win gives you confidence to attempt the next one. It creates a chain reaction of effort and belief. Without that chain, motivation dies. Many people fail not because they are weak, but because they try to do everything at once. They carry the entire mountain on their shoulders instead of simply taking one step up the path. Breaking goals down also brings clarity. A big vision can be inspiring, but it is also blurry. You don't know exactly what to do next. Small steps give you focus. They turn something abstract into something concrete. Instead of saying, "I want to build a business," you say, "Today I will talk to 5 potential customers. Tomorrow I will study how to register a company." These small steps transform a dream into a daily habit. You stop waiting for motivation because the task in front of you is clear and small enough to start now. Small steps also reduce the fear of failure. When you attempt something huge, failure feels heavy. It feels like the whole dream is broken. But if you attempt something small and it doesn't work, it doesn't crush you. You can adjust quickly and try again. This creates resilience. The more small steps you take, the more your brain learns that failure is not the end. It's just feedback. That mindset keeps you moving while others are stuck planning and doubting. Another power of small steps is that they create discipline. When the daily task is small, you have no excuse to skip it. It becomes like brushing your teeth, just something you do no matter what. Over time, this discipline becomes a habit, and habits shape identity. Once your mind sees you as someone who always takes small steps, it stops questioning whether you can reach big goals. It starts assuming you will because daily progress has become part of who you are. Big dreams need patience, and patience is easier when the journey feels achievable. If every day you only see how far you are from the finish line, you will become frustrated. But if every day you see one step completed, one task crossed off, your brain feels proud and stays motivated. That quiet progress is powerful. It keeps your energy alive and your focus strong even when results are still invisible to others. The world may not see what you are building yet, but you will know it is growing because you are adding piece by piece, layer by layer. Step by step, discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build like a muscle. When you go to the gym, you don't expect to lift the heaviest weight on the first day. You start small. You practice every day, and slowly your strength grows. Discipline works the same way. People think they need to feel motivated every morning, but motivation is just emotion. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. The first time you try to be disciplined, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind resists. It says, just skip today. Do it tomorrow. This is normal. The brain always tries to protect you from effort. But if you push through that resistance even for a few minutes, you are building your mental muscle. The next day, it will still resist, but a little less. Each time you show up when it is hard, your brain learns a new rule. We do what we said we will do. That rule becomes stronger every time you keep your promise to yourself. Discipline does not grow in big dramatic moments. It grows in small daily choices. Waking up when you said you would. Finishing the task you planned. Turning off distractions when you work. These actions look small, but they are your training sessions. Each small act is a repetition. Just like lifting weights, the more repetitions you do, the stronger you become. Most people wait to feel ready before they act, but disciplined people act first. That action creates readiness. It flips the order. When you train discipline like a muscle, you understand that consistency is more important than intensity. Doing something small every day is more powerful than doing something huge once in a while. If you push yourself too hard on the first day, you burn out. If you do a little every day, you build a habit. Discipline is built on habits, not on bursts of energy. Habits remove the need for willpower. They make action automatic, like breathing. Once your actions become habits, discipline becomes your natural state instead of a daily struggle. Training discipline also means controlling your environment. A gym is designed to help you lift weights. In the same way, you must design your space to help you stay focused, remove distractions. Prepare your tools before you start. Tell the people around you about your routine so they respect it. When your environment supports your effort, your mind wastes less energy fighting temptation. This makes discipline easier to practice and easier to grow. Another part of discipline training is forgiving yourself quickly. Muscles get tired and sometimes you miss a workout. The same happens with discipline. You will miss days. You will break routines. The key is not to let guilt become a reason to quit. Return to your routine as fast as possible. One mistake does not erase all progress. It is just one missed repetition. Strong discipline comes from patience with yourself as well as pressure on yourself. You must learn to push without punishing, to stay strict without becoming your enemy. As your discipline muscle grows, your confidence grows too. You stop depending on perfect conditions because you know you can keep going even when you don't feel like it. This self-trust becomes powerful. When you tell yourself you will do something, you do it. That belief gives you freedom. You stop wasting time negotiating with your excuses. You stop waiting for the right mood or the right weather or the right moment. You just begin, and because you begin, you move forward. And because you move forward, your goals slowly start to move closer toward you step by step, day by day, repetition by repetition. When people face something difficult, the first question they ask is, how will I do this? They want a perfect plan before they take the first step. They want to see the whole path before they move. But the truth is, most great journeys never begin with a clear how. They begin with a powerful why. The how changes many times along the way, but the why keeps you walking even when the road is broken. The how lives in the brain. It is logical. It is cautious. It always wants proof. It keeps asking, what if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I don't know enough? The why lives in the heart. It is emotional. It is powerful. It says, this matters to me. I must do this. The why does not wait for certainty. It gives you the courage to move even when everything is uncertain. When your why is strong, your mind will find a way to build the how. If you look at anyone who achieved something big, they started with a reason, not a plan. Their reason gave them energy when nothing else worked. Plans can break, but purpose endures. When you only focus on the how, every obstacle looks like the end. One problem and you stop. But when you focus on the why, obstacles become challenges you must solve, because quitting is not an option. The why turns pain into fuel. The why gives meaning to the struggle, and meaning makes struggle easier to carry. Your brain wants comfort, so it searches for easy methods. It says, I'll start when I know the best way. But there is no best way. There is only starting. The best way is discovered by those who keep moving. If you know why you are doing something, you will not stop looking for ways to do it. You will fail 10 times, but you will rise 11 times because your reason is stronger than your fear. That is how impossible things become possible. Not through perfect methods, but through unstoppable purpose. Focusing on the why also protects your motivation. Methods get boring. Routines feel heavy. After some time, the excitement fades. When you remember your why, you remember the meaning. You remember the dream, the people you want to help, the life you want to build. This renews your energy. The work stops feeling like work. It becomes part of your mission. People who forget their why often burn out, not because the work is too hard, but because it has no meaning left inside it. When you are clear about your why, you stop comparing your journey to others. Everyone's how looks different. Some move fast, others slow. Some use one path, others use another. But the why is personal. It is yours alone. When you stay connected to it, you stay focused on your lane. You stop feeling behind because you know you are walking your own road. This keeps your mind peaceful and your heart steady while you move. The how can be learned from books, mentors, and experience, but the why comes from inside you. It is born from your values, your dreams, your pain, and your hopes. That is why it is so powerful. It does not disappear when things get hard. It grows stronger under pressure. When you feel like quitting, the why is the voice that says, keep going. When the path is dark, the why becomes your light. It shows you the reason to take one more step, even when the steps are heavy and the results are still invisible to everyone around you. The loudest enemy is often not outside. It is inside your own head. Negative self-talk is the quiet voice that whispers, you are not good enough, you will fail, you don't have what it takes. This voice doesn't shout, it whispers all day. And because it sounds like your own voice, you start to believe it. But it is not the truth. It is fear wearing your voice like a mask. If you do not silence it, it will guide your choices and control your future. The brain is designed to protect you from danger. Long ago, this helped us survive. Today, it often becomes a prison. Every time you try something new, your mind sees it as a threat. It tells you to stay safe, to stay small. It says, don't try, don't speak, don't risk. This is not wisdom. It is fear pretending to be logic. If you listen to this voice, you will build a cage with your own thoughts and live inside it while your dreams wait outside. Silencing negative self-talk starts with awareness. Most people don't even realize how often they speak to themselves with doubt. They say things to themselves they would never say to a friend. They call themselves stupid, lazy, weak, or useless. But the brain listens. It believes what you repeat. Every negative word becomes a seed. If you plant those seeds every day, they grow into beliefs. Beliefs shape your behavior, and behavior creates your future. To change your future, you must change the words you allow inside your mind. You cannot stop thoughts from appearing, but you can stop believing them. When the voice says, you can't do this, don't argue. Just notice it and choose a different thought. Replace I can't with I'll try. Replace I'm not good enough with I'm still learning. These small changes are powerful. They teach your brain a new language. Over time, this new language becomes automatic and the old voice grows weaker. Another way to silence negative self-talk is through action. The voice gets louder when you sit still and think too much. When you move, it gets quiet. Action gives your brain evidence that fear was lying. Every small success is proof that you are capable. This proof rewires your mind. It builds a new voice that says, maybe I can. Maybe I am strong enough. You don't need to kill the negative voice. You just need to make the positive one louder and action is what makes it louder. Who you spend time with also matters. The people around you can become an echo of your inner voice. If they are always negative, your mind will absorb their words. If they believe in you, your mind will start to believe in you too. Surround yourself with people who push you, support you, and remind you of your value when you forget it. Their voices will become part of your inner dialogue, and they will help drown out the voice of doubt. It is also important to treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. When you fail, speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who failed. You would not tell them they are worthless. You would remind them it's okay, that failure is part of learning, and that they can try again. You deserve the same kindness from yourself. Encouragement is not weakness. It is fuel. It gives your brain the strength to keep going instead of shutting down whenever something goes wrong. The people around you shape your mind more than you realize. Human beings are like mirrors. We reflect the attitudes, beliefs, and habits of the people we spend the most time with. If you are surrounded by people who always complain, you will start to complain. If you are surrounded by people who always make excuses, you will start to make excuses. But if you are surrounded by people who keep learning, who keep trying, who keep improving themselves, their energy will pull you forward. Their mindset will become part of your mindset. Growth-minded people see challenges as opportunities. They don't run from hard things. They run toward them because they know that is how they grow. When you are close to people like this, your brain starts to see problems differently. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," you start thinking, "How can I figure this out?" Their belief becomes contagious. It is like being in a room full of fire. Sooner or later, you will catch the spark. Being around growth-minded people also raises your standards. When everyone around you is working hard, you feel naturally pulled to work harder. Not because they pressure you, but because they inspire you. They make excellence feel normal. This is powerful. The mind adapts to its environment. If your environment is full of comfort and negativity, your brain will shrink to fit it. If your environment is full of hunger and ambition, your brain will rise to match it. Sometimes, people you love will not understand your goals. They may tell you to be realistic, to stay safe, to stop dreaming. They don't mean harm, but their fear can quietly become your fear. If you stay too long in that kind of environment, you will start lowering your dreams to fit their comfort. That is why it is important to choose your circle carefully. Protect your mind the way you protect your body. If you eat junk every day, your body becomes weak. If you consume negative voices every day, your dreams become weak. Growth-minded people talk about ideas, not just gossip. They talk about solutions, not just problems. They talk about the future, not only the past. When you spend time with them, your thoughts rise. You begin thinking bigger. You begin believing that progress is possible for you too. Even short conversations with them can plant seeds of courage in your mind. They remind you that failure is part of growth, that mistakes are lessons, and that every day is a chance to improve. It is also important to understand that you don't need many of these people. Even one or two can change your direction. You might find them in books, in mentors, in teachers, or in friends who refuse to give up on their own goals. What matters is their mindset. Watch how they handle failure. Watch how they react when things go wrong. If they stay calm, stay curious, and keep going, they are the kind of people who will lift you higher. When you spend time with people who are always growing, your brain begins to expect growth from itself. You stop being satisfied with staying the same. You start measuring your days not by comfort, but by progress. Their habits will slowly become your habits. Their way of thinking will slowly become your way of thinking. And without even realizing it, you will begin to push yourself harder, aim higher, and dream bigger simply because the environment around you is filled with people who believe growth is normal. Most people only celebrate results. They wait for the big win, the promotion, the trophy, the applause. Until then, they treat their journey as invisible. But the truth is, results come at the end, and the end comes after a very long time. If you only reward yourself at the finish line, your motivation will die halfway. To keep your brain moving through the hard parts, you must learn to celebrate effort, not just the outcome. Effort is what builds everything. Results are just the visible part. Like a tree, what people see above the ground is the result, but the roots under the ground are effort. They are unseen, silent, and slow. Every late night, every early morning, every small practice session, every time you showed up when no one was watching, that is effort. Most people ignore it, But if you want to train your brain to do hard things, you must give effort the respect it deserves. When you praise only results, your brain learns that trying is worthless unless it wins. This creates fear, fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of wasting time. That fear stops action. But when you celebrate effort, your brain learns that progress matters more than perfection. It starts to enjoy the process. It starts to see failure as feedback instead of disaster. This mindset makes you resilient because you no longer fear losing. You only fear not trying. Celebrating effort also builds confidence. Every time you complete a difficult task, even if the outcome is not perfect, stop and acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I did something hard today. This sounds small, but it changes how your brain sees you. It shifts your identity from someone who tries and fails to someone who keeps showing up. That identity is powerful. People who see themselves as consistent will keep moving even on bad days. People who see themselves as failures will stop even when they are close to success. You can build small rituals to reward effort. It might be writing down one thing you did well today, no matter how small. It might be telling a friend about one brave thing you tried. It might be simply taking a deep breath and saying, that was not easy, but I did it. These small rewards train your brain to connect effort with pride. Over time, effort stops feeling like struggle and starts feeling like victory. Another reason to celebrate effort is that results are not always fully in your control. Markets change, people change, timing changes. You can do everything right and still not get the exact result you hoped for. If you judge yourself only by outcomes, you will always feel powerless. But effort is always in your control. You decide how much heart you give, how much focus you bring, how many times you try again. That is why effort deserves your celebration, because it is proof of your choice, your courage, and your discipline. Celebrating effort also builds patience. Big dreams take time. They grow slowly like seeds. If you only celebrate when the fruit appears, you will become restless and quit. But if you celebrate every drop of water you give, every day you show up to care for the seed, you stay motivated. You see every step as part of the success, not just the end. This mindset keeps your energy alive through the long middle, when progress is quiet and invisible, when nothing seems to be changing, but inside you are becoming stronger. With every small act of effort, pressure is something everyone faces, but how we respond to it decides whether we grow or collapse. Most people see pressure as an enemy. They think, I can't handle this, it's too much, I'm going to fail. That fear becomes heavier than the pressure itself. But pressure is not the problem. Fear is. Pressure is simply energy, raw and powerful. If you treat it as fuel instead of fear, it can push you further than you ever imagined. Pressure shows up when something matters. Nobody feels pressure about things that don't count. If you are nervous before a big presentation, it means you care. If you feel the weight of responsibility before a major decision, it means it matters to you. That is not weakness. That is passion knocking on the door. The mind tries to protect you by making pressure feel dangerous, but it is not danger. It is potential energy waiting to be turned into action. Think of pressure like fire. Fire can burn your house down, or it can cook your food. It depends on how you handle it. If you run from it, it chases you. If you freeze, it burns you. But if you learn to control it, it becomes your power. The same energy that scares you can drive you. The key is to stop seeing pressure as a signal to panic and start seeing it as a signal to rise. When the mind says, this is too much, teach it to ask, how can this make me stronger? Your brain listens to your interpretation. When you call pressure stress, your body tenses, your thinking shrinks, and fear takes control. When you call pressure challenge, your body releases energy, your focus sharpens, and courage takes control. It is the same situation, but a different meaning. This is the secret. Pressure is neutral until you label it. If you choose the label of fear, it becomes fear. If you choose the label of fuel, it becomes drive. Action is the best way to transform pressure into fuel. When you sit and overthink, pressure multiplies. When you move, it dissolves. The moment you start working on the problem, your brain stops worrying and starts solving. Even small actions break the weight of pressure into pieces. Pressure hates momentum. Once you are in motion, it can no longer paralyze you. It starts pushing from behind instead of blocking from ahead. Another way to use pressure as fuel is to focus on growth, not perfection. Perfection makes pressure heavier. It whispers, one mistake and you are done. Growth makes pressure lighter. It says, Every mistake is part of progress. When you see pressure as a teacher instead of a threat, it becomes exciting. It becomes proof that you are stepping into new territory, stretching your limits, building new strength. Pressure is a sign you are no longer standing still. Surrounding yourself with people who thrive under pressure also helps. Watch how they stay calm while others panic. Notice how they breathe, how they focus, how they break problems down. Their example rewires your own response. It teaches your mind that pressure does not mean danger, it means opportunity. The more time you spend around people who treat pressure as normal, the more your brain will stop fearing it. It will start treating pressure like a signal that something great is about to happen, like the quiet before the breakthrough, like the weight that proves you are lifting something worth carrying. Life is like climbing a mountain. The start is always the steepest, the heaviest, the slowest. Most people give up there. They say it is too hard, too painful, too exhausting. But what they don't see is that this difficult part is what makes everything after it easier. The weight you carry today builds the strength you will walk with tomorrow. What is hard now becomes easy later if you keep going. Every big achievement starts as something uncomfortable. Learning a new skill feels slow. Building a business feels uncertain. Training your body feels painful. Your brain tries to escape this discomfort by saying, "Stop, this is too much, this is not for you." But this is only the beginning talking. In the beginning, everything is heavy because your mind and body are not used to it yet. The resistance is not proof you can't do it. It is proof you are growing. And growth always starts as struggle. The mind loves comfort. It wants quick rewards, fast wins, easy results. But comfort is expensive. Every time you choose easy now, you pay with difficulty later. If you skip the effort of learning, you struggle with ignorance later. If you avoid the pain of discipline, you live with the pain of regret later. If you refuse to do the hard things today, life will become harder tomorrow. This is the rule. Hard now, easy later. Easy now, hard later. There is no escape from the price. You only get to choose when to pay it. When you push through the hard part, something powerful happens. What once scared you becomes normal. What once drained you becomes light. The weight does not change. You change. Your muscles grow. Your focus sharpens. Your mind gets stronger. The things that felt impossible last year become part of your daily routine. That is why the hardest part is always temporary. It feels permanent while you are inside it, but it is only a bridge. Once you cross it, you realize it was not as big as it looked from the bottom. This mindset creates patience. Most people quit too soon because they expect the start to feel good. But the start is supposed to feel hard. When you accept that truth, you stop being surprised by struggle. You see it as a sign that you are on the right path. You stop asking, "Why is this so hard?" and start asking, "How strong will this make me?" This question changes your energy. It shifts you from fear to determination, from complaining to building. Think of every hard season in your life like laying bricks. Each day feels slow and tiring. The wall seems invisible, but every brick you place makes the structure stronger. One day you will stand on top of that wall and see how far you've climbed. You will realize the effort that felt like suffering was actually your foundation. People will call you lucky, but you will know it was not luck. It was the choice to do the hard thing when it was hardest, knowing it would make life easier later. Even your brain works this way. The neural pathways that control your habits are like paths through a forest. At first, creating a new path is hard. You have to push through branches and clear obstacles. But every time you walk it, the path gets clearer, wider, easier. Eventually, it becomes automatic. This is how hard things become easy, through repetition, through struggle, through the decision to keep walking even when it feels uphill and endless and lonely. In the end, everything great in life comes from doing the hard things your brain tries to avoid. Your mind will always whisper, "Stay safe, stay comfortable, wait until you feel ready." But comfort never creates growth. Growth begins the moment you step into discomfort and keep walking. That is how you rewire your brain. Every time you start before you feel ready, break a big goal into smaller steps, and push through the noise of fear, you train your mind to trust effort more than emotion. Forcing your brain to do hard things is not about being fearless. It is about acting with fear still in your pocket. It is about surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher, silencing the voice that says, "You can't," and choosing to see pressure as fuel instead of fear. It is about celebrating every act of effort, because effort builds strength, and strength makes the hard things easier tomorrow. The brain adapts to whatever you repeatedly do. So when you choose the hard path today, you are building the mindset, the habits, and the resilience that will make the impossible feel normal in the future.